Hello Reds, what a win that was then.
Hello Reds.
What a win that was then.
Oh God, I couldn't keep a straight face. I said to Craig, I think we've got to do the Curtis. What a win that was then.
What a win that was then.
I mean, I am Lizzi Doyle, this is Craig Hannan. If this was Gareth Roberts, he does the best impression of Curtis Jones off that Instagram story. So I'm just trying to do him a bit of justice as though Gareth was sat here. I don't even know where to start. I woke up buzzing. It was the best match of the whole season. It was just everything you wanted and more. I don't even know what else there is really to sort of say other than it was perfect.
It was perfect. It was the most fun I've had at a game all season.
It was great.
And I worried about it all week, and I worried about the lineup. I worried about how seriously Jurgen Klopp would take a derby. I was sort of saying, you can't switch on and off how much a derby means to you, can you? And whether it's the FA Cup, whether you're 13 clear and you're going for the league, whether there's bigger things, there's a bigger picture to worry about. I can't switch off how much this game means to you. And when I saw the lineup, I shit myself a little bit. Honestly, I did, and I sort of knew it was coming, but I didn't know to what extent he was going to rest players, who he was going to play. I thought we'd maybe see, maybe one of the front three and
a midfielder,
and maybe maybe one of the fullbacks, or maybe a Van Dijk or whatever. There was the Gomez in there, but when I saw it, I was worried about it. And I think actually that sort of fed into how much I enjoyed myself in the game. Like from the first sort of getting through the first 10 minutes, first 15 minutes, and then just watching them all excel and
take the piss is probably the more.
I was going to say do us proud.
It's probably the best term.
Yeah, but they were brilliant, and I'll be honest. I looked at someone like Nico Williams in the Everton, the Arsenal game, and I thought he did all right, but I was watching him thinking, I mean, he's done all right in this game, but he's probably not someone that's going to play, much more for Liverpool. He maybe get the odd cup game or whatever, but last night he looked really, really good.
He's a good footballer.
And maybe it was the realisation last night that our football team, our first team's here, but actually the players that are beneath and the players that are training with these footballers every day, the players that are training with Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah every day are actually, they're not way down, they're not as far down as you maybe think they are. They're brilliant footballers, and like I tweeted saying I'm not excited about the derby if Nico Williams and Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott and Nat Phillips are all playing, and actually, they made me look a fool, and I'm delighted for them, because they'll always have that, no matter what. We often talk about footballers like this, like, they've got that game. Curtis Jones was able to score in that derby. Well, I actually don't think Curtis Jones is the pinnacle of Curtis Jones' Liverpool career. I think he showed last night that he can go up and do loads more.
I think, so when I was on the way to the match and I saw the team, I giggled and I got really excited. I wasn't even nervous. My dad is really old school and loves all the cups. He was fuming about the League Cup and stuff like that, and he was really angry. And even throughout the match, I could see him tense and everything when it was 0-0. And when they had the first couple of chances in the first half, I could tell he was I could hear his thoughts in his head, just cursing Jurgen Klopp for putting out this team. And I was like, Dad, it's fine, don't worry, it's absolutely sound. And I was just smiling the whole way through, because I knew it was coming. I knew what was going to happen. I didn't expect that goal. I thought it'd be a Spawny Pickford one, which would have been bloody wonderful. I would have paid everything for it to have been an Origi Spawny goal, just for the lols. But it was just bossing every way, and I want to do my own holding my hands up. So the one player that shocked me and probably everyone was Pedro Chirivella. I think seeing him on the team sheet, we all went, hey? I think we expected Jones, I think we expected Williams, Phillips and Elliott, but I don't think we expected him to play Pedro Chirivella. And I questioned it, and I laughed, and I even sent a text message going, haha, oh my God, we're playing Pedro Chirivella in the derby. And I am wholeheartedly throwing my hands up and saying I apologise, because that lad played out of this world last night.
He was brilliant, and if he was our new signing, if we'd signed him from someone else, we we'd be talking him up, we'd be picking him up, we'd be dead excited about him today. He was brilliant, and like that's Everton's best team, and he just comes in and bosses it really. Like he sets the tempo. He was like a Xabi Alonso at times. There's one where he spreads the ball wide, and I'm like, that's incredible. Like, and it just goes to show that these footballers are well better than we think they are, and
well better than us.
Yeah, well better than us. And like, I'm made up for Sheffield Villa. Maybe he's the one on the side where you're like, well, that's his Liverpool moment. Now he'll always have this. I think you're looking around the Nico Williams and Curtis Jones, and you're thinking, well, they probably and hopefully go on to bigger and better things at this football club. But Sheffield Villa was incredible. I made a joke yesterday saying like, I might get his name and number in the back of my new coat.
The cheery fella.
The cheery fella, yeah. He was brilliant.
He was excellent, and so was everyone else. If you want to see our post-match reaction, Robbo was back for the post-match pint. It was a welcome return for Robbo, who really, really enjoyed sticking it into the Blues. So here's a little clip.
For them kids, and put that team out. I'm sure even Jürgen wasn't expecting to put a performance.
But it was mad as well, wasn't it? That you had Milner in there to be one of the experienced heads, and after 9 minutes he's gone off, and that's a shame and a bit of a worry that he's had to go off the pitch. But the lad comes in, the Lucci, he's not down to play.
Unbelievable.
And
he was on fire.
He was everywhere.
I mean, how quick is he? He was not like the quickest man I've ever seen. Come on, he was like a Blair when he ran, and just a big lock of dreadlocks behind him.
Yeah.
Like,
and the tackles he put in as well.
He was absolutely everywhere.
I've got to give a Chirivella, come on.
Yeah, he's another one.
They've thought him out for this one, and he just got out, and he was fantastic. Nico Williams right back, and
Han Solo just emerged from nowhere.
I could name every single one. I just thought every single one of them. Harvey Elliott again looks
he looks the business, mate.
Unbelievable. 16 years of age, and he's going up against one of the supposed best left backs in the league. I thought he was superb against them, turned it inside out a couple of times.
The ball for Origi.
Superb, yeah. He's got great vision. You can just tell he's got it. He's going to be a fantastic player for us, and a credit to all the football club today. These kids, fantastic.
What a win that was.
I'm just going to keep dropping it in throughout the day, throughout your life. What a win that was then. And you know what? You can download the app and all our post-match reaction is on there. I would highly, highly, highly recommend the post-match show with Jay McKenna, John Milburn,
podcast, yeah.
and Step Up Damien Cavani.
Unbelievable.
Use your tokens to hear Damien Cavani's analogy of Jurgen Klopp playing champagne football, but last night he got a round of Jaeger bombs in for the lads.
It was
unreal.
Do you know what? It was one of my favourite post-match podcasts, and I watched it this morning when I listened to it whenever I was getting ready this morning. And I was just like, I was laughing out loud to myself whenever he said that line. It's incredible.
Jay McKenna's voice gone. John Milburn's made up a song for Jordan Pickford to Lion King where Can You Feel the Love Tonight, singing Were You at the Darts last night to Jordan Pickford.
That's right, yeah. And then you had all the background as well. They do it and they record it in the Glenbuck, and we were all in the Glenbuck afterwards. And you get basically every sort of 10 minutes, the Glenbuck like bursts into song, doesn't it? Pump it up. Oh, yeah. Going down, are we fuck? We're gonna win the cup.
Oh God,
Amazing.
It's brilliant. And I'm not just saying it. Like seriously, get on the app and listen to it. Use the tokens. You get free tokens. If you've not already downloaded the app, and just enjoy it because it's boss. Do you know what's so mad, right? In a game like that last night, there's probably one thing we should be talking about more than anything, and he doesn't even get mentioned till about halfway through because we're talking about how good the kids are. Our new signing played his first game for us last night, and no, he's like back at the queue, back of the line. Takumi Minamino made his debut, the player we've all been so excited for. But we were just buzzing to see Pedro Chirivella living his best life, and it's all like, so we should be. But genuinely, Minamino looked to me as though Klopp had basically said, you're just there to do a job, you're there to fill a hole, run about and try and make things happen. I don't think that's his natural position as well. But I thought he'd done all right. I think he quietened down second half. I think he made some good moves though in the first half, and he nearly had the Van Dijk moment that I was desperately wanting
the header.
to have.
He probably should have did better in that one. To be honest, it's a player that's had a winter break and he's hardly played any football, and he was in Tokyo on his holidays before he got here, wasn't he? And I thought he did pretty well. I thought you saw glimpses of what we're going to see. I thought it was really interesting where Klopp plays, and that maybe shows what Klopp intends for him to do in terms of maybe being that filler for Firmino, because he was playing the 9, where you'd maybe expect Origi to play the 9, him to be out wide. That's what I thought when I saw the lineup, but he didn't. But yeah, there's enough to get excited about, and it just so happened that he makes his debut in a game where there's just so much more happening. So you've got the lineup, and then you've got Lizzi coming on.
Yeah.
And Lizzi.
He was game. I loved him. He was game as anything.
He's like, you know, he's like Moreno, like 2.0, wasn't he? I loved how he basically played anywhere but left back, didn't he? It was like attacking left mid.
Poor Adam Lallana was all over the police trying to cover him.
And that's a great point, because that's who we need to talk about.
Yes.
Adam Lallana was
unreal,
incredible, and he was the leader. You saw him talking to everyone. You saw him sort of directing, and you know, he was the man amongst boys, wasn't he? Really, but he was unbelievable, I thought, and it's just another reminder that he's a fucking really good footballer.
He's a really good footballer. It's talk of his legs, and I kind of understand that our intensity's gone up, the pace has gone up, but in a side which is less experienced, which hasn't got literally the pace of Salah and Mane, and he just shone for me, and I think we have to give... I'm literally giving another shout. I'm trying to move on because there's so much to talk about. I have to give a shout to Joe Gomez as well, because I think Joe Gomez was outstanding last night. I think it's quite underrated what he done. I think... Yeah. I remember talking about Joe Gomez when we played in the 5-5, the League Cup, and he was the only senior player in that sort of back 5, because he had Kelleher behind him, he didn't even have Adrian, and he had to marshal that back line. And okay, we might concede 5 goals, but you could just start to see him like growing his confidence, and the difference between that game and the Everton game last night, he looks like he's in the form of his life, doesn't he? He
does, and he's had a strange Liverpool career, Joe Gomez, because you think of the calibre of footballer that he is. He's brilliant, and he's one of England's best young centre backs, isn't he? But like, you think about last year, and we win the Champions League, and we went out without him on the pitch, and Joe Matip was the one that, you know, who's had another weird career. But Joe Gomez, before last Christmas, we were eulogising over him, saying like, you know, that's our pairing forever, pretty much, Van Dijk and him. And then he gets injured, and then Matip's in, and then we eulogise over them. We're saying, well, that's the pairing. And Lovren's come in at times this season. At times, Gomez has maybe looked like he's maybe the fourth choice centre back.
I'd agree with that.
And over the past month, he's been excellent, and that's the sort of return to form for him, and I'm made up for him. I'm excited to see him play loads more in a Liverpool shirt. I'm excited to hopefully see Liverpool win the league, and for him to be, you know, one of the starting 2 in there. I mean, I wasn't finished talking about Adam Lallana, because
please
Adam
keep going.
Lallana,
go on. I'm very aware there's so much to talk about.
I know.
No, please, I keep going. Please keep going. Go on.
Adam Lallana is one of them footballers that we probably don't appreciate enough, and I remember when it was talked about him playing in the 6 in the summer, and that interview came out. I think it was The Guardian said, you know, I'm going to be the backup for Fabinho, and we sort of took the piss a bit as fans. We laughed at it, and every time he's come in, whether it's Villa away earlier in the season, where he come in and did a brilliant job, whenever he's come in this Liverpool side, he's looked really good, and last night he just sort of showed that, you know, he walks into Everton's team, and he walks into loads of Premier League sides. Like, it just so happens that he is in a squad where we're the best side in the world. You know, legitimately we are. And last night was a reminder that players like Lallana are actually, you know, they are a cut above most footballers in the Premier League. It's just so happens that they're in a squad with, you know, that is this good.
It wouldn't surprise me. I'm quite good at predicting things, right? I've had like 2 predictions.
Mystic
right?
Meg.
Yeah, I have. On the last overview, I was the only one who called City get beat to Newcastle, and I got it right. And I also said Jordan Henderson would start centre-half in the Club World Cup semi-final. I also got that right. Adam Lallana will start against Tottenham. I honestly think that Adam Lallana will start against Tottenham. And just on that, very quickly before we wrap it up, we have to just give a shout-out to James Milner and what happened. It's really, really quite shit. It looks like it could be serious in terms of its muscle. We don't know they never know how to determine how long a muscle injury is out for. I mean, Dejan Lovren was a muscle injury, we're still missing him. But that's a really, really big blow for Liverpool and Klopp, because not only are we down loads of centre midfielders, I mean, it was great to see Oxlade-Chamberlain back, that was good news. Obviously, we've got Minamino back in, we've got Adam Lallana now, we've got about 5 midfielders, but James Milner's our backup, left back and right back as well. And the amount we ask our full-backs to do, I think it could be... It's going to be tough without him if he's out for a couple of weeks. Yeah,
it is. And, you know, he's the one that it feels like we can always rely on. Like, you think back a few seasons ago when he sort of learns that position, left back, and then now what Robertson does, you're asking James Milner, he's learnt that position, and you're asking James Milner to deputise for someone who's reinvented that position, aren't you? And he's done a brilliant job. It doesn't feel like there's a massive drop off, and obviously, like, you know, what Andy Robertson does is incredible. But when James Milner's come in, it's never felt like you're thinking, oh well, you know, you can see the quality drop there, and that's testament to James Milner as a professional and as a footballer. And yeah, I'm hoping that he isn't out for too long, but then, you know, you look around the kids and you think, well, actually, we trust you all now because you've just done the business in a Merseyside derby, and you know, it's one of them where it's probably a reminder for someone like me who all week was banging the drum of, you know, play as full strength as possible, and maybe a couple of kids. Yeah. That's a reminder that actually, you know, a muscle injury or something happens because you've just had a hectic Christmas period, and it's happened to James Milner, and fingers crossed he's better soon.
Fingers crossed, but we're not going to end this on doom and gloom, because guess what? Liverpool are 13 points clear at the top of the league. The European champions, the Super European champions, the world champions, through to the fourth round of the FA Cup by beating Everton with their kids. What a win that was then, as Curtis Jones would say. And in honour of Damien
We didn't talk about Curtis Jones.
Curtis Jones, you were great goal. But as I was going to say, in honour of Damien Cabana, get a Jaeger bomb down you and toast these unbelievable Reds. What a football team.